House Committees on Public Order and Safety, Information and Communications Technology, and Public Information are set to launch its second hearing on fake news. This time around, they are going to focus on the tax compliance and financial transparency of social media influencers and vloggers. Aside from online personalities, the Tri-Committee also invited officials of the BIR and executives from Meta, Google, and TikTok owner ByteDance. They have also invited representatives from the Anti-Money Laundering Council. The panel is weighing potential policy responses to digital misinformation, including stricter accountability measures for social media influencers and improved regulation of online content. Tri-Comm overall chairman, Representative Dan Fernandez, reiterated that the probe is not meant to suppress anybody's right to free speech. They have, however, issued a show cause orders to a number of social media personalities who failed to appear at the first hearing on February 4. Among the most prominent ones who were issued as COs are Attorney Glenn Chong, former Press Secretary Trixie Cruz Angeles, Crisette Laureta Chu, Sas Rogando Sasot, Mark Anthony Lopez, Lorraine Badoy, Jeffrey Celes, and Mary Catherine Binag. The Tri-Committee says several individuals have responded via email, including Cruz Angeles, Cruz, and Lopez, among others.
All right, let's discuss this further with our first guest tonight. We have with us Congressman Ace Barbers, House Quad Committee Chair, and Surigao del Norte Representative. He joins us on the line. Good evening, Congressman Barbers. Welcome back to The Big Story. Can you hear me okay?
Good evening, ladies. Good evening to all our televiewers, and magandang gabi po sa ating mga kababayan.
Thanks for making time for us again. Lots of things to talk to you about. Let's begin with the Tri-Committee hearing tomorrow. This is the second on disinformation and fake news. First of all, you've issued show cause orders to a number of the social media personalities, longer than the one that we read. The one we read were just some of the most prominent ones. But
Yes.
How many are we expecting tomorrow in person to turn up?
Well, for those people that we invited in the first hearing who failed to attend, were the subject of our show cause orders, and hopefully they will appear tomorrow. But other than those that did not appear last time, we also have another batch of vloggers that we likewise invited. And this invitation does not actually pinpoint anyone. It's just that we invited those who are prominent vloggers in the social media. So for those who are saying that we picked only, or we invited only those that are pro-Duterte, that is not true, because we invited practically all that we see who are very active online, and those who have gained a large sector of our society as their followers. So that is the basis of the invitation.
So in short, you don't know yet how many are going to turn up tomorrow. Hindi pa po kayo sigurado?
No, we're not sure yet. But we sent out invitations. The committee secretariat has probably sent out 50 to 50 names. Now, I'm not really aware of how much invitations or how many vloggers were invited. But those that were issued a show cause order should appear. Otherwise, the committee must or should or will be compelled not to take action on the failure of them to honor the show cause orders.
What does that mean, take action? How far are you willing to go?
Well, under our rules, if you fail to appear before a committee after an invitation was sent to you twice, then a show cause order will be issued. If the show cause order will not be honored, then upon a motion of a member of the committee, he can move for the committee to cite the person in contempt. And if the contempt order was issued, then there is a corresponding penalty to that. No? And the penalty is probably a detention. It depends, but it must get the support of the majority of the members present, constituting a quorum during that hearing.
Okay, just a quick look back on at the first hearing on February 4th. 37 out of the 40 invited did not attend. 13 of those who part of the ones that didn't attend, they ran to the Supreme Court. I'm sure you're aware that that happened, and I don't think the Supreme Court has yet ruled on anything right now. But of course, the bloggers are claiming that your plan is to curtail free speech, and these summons are, to curtail free speech. And of course, as a Tri-Comm chairman, Dan Fernandez said that is not the case. This is just in aid of legislation and, to beef up the rules. When we took a look at the vloggers and influencers who didn't turn up, it would seem, though, Congressman Barbers, that a lot of them are really pro-Duterte vloggers, and a lot of the criticism is coming from there. Would you know if you expanded the invite list? And knowing also that there is this petition with the Supreme Court, are you not taking into consideration like maybe some leeway until they reply?
Well, number one, I believe that there were other resource persons that will be invited other than those that were invited during the first hearing and those who failed to attend. No? Because since there are several number of vloggers, we cannot invite them all at one time in one hearing. So that's why in the subsequent hearings of the committee, there will be people that will be invited. And I'm sure for tomorrow's hearing, other than those that were invited and were issued show cause orders, there are other names also that should appear and be present for tomorrow. Now, as far as the decision of the Supreme Court is concerned, of course, we will respect whatever decision the court will say. No? If it says that we cannot invite them anymore and issues a TRO, then we will honor and abide by that. So far, as we speak, there's no TRO yet being issued by the courts. Therefore, we will continue with our hearing for tomorrow and expect that those that were invited will appear. Now, third, I am surprised why they don't want to appear. In the first hearing, they probably saw what transpired in that committee hearing, and there was no act or there was no move from the committee to cite anyone in contempt and detain anyone, because no one has violated our rules, and we cannot do that discriminately by just citing them in contempt. There must be basis. There must be some violation of the rules. Or probably if they are caught lying and to the disadvantage of any of the member of the committee or the Congress itself, then they should be cited in contempt. But nakita naman natin in the last hearing, wala namang ganung nangyari. In fact, yung iba nga dyan na hindi naman yung naka-attend, na hindi naman anti or pro DDS, and were also present and has given their contribution to the committee so that we will be able to craft a regulatory policy, because this is the objective of this committee.
You also invited the platforms, TikTok or ByteDance, Meta and Google. Have they RSVP'd? Are they going to show up? And what exactly is their presence there? What are you hoping to get from that? Are you hoping to get any promises?
I do hope that they appear, because their platforms are the ones being used by those who peddle fake news. Ladies, let me just remind everybody that, especially those mga nanunood, na this is not an attempt to suppress anyone from expressing their own opinion. Contrary to what these bloggers are saying. Sabi nila, suppression of free speech. Meron ba kaming sinoppress? Wala. Is there any attempt to do that? Wala. And they have a lawyer na kasama nila dyan as one of the bloggers. And dapat she should be the one explaining to her colleagues. Now, let's not be scared. Let's appear before this committee and propose and give our opinion and ideas on how to improve the use of all these social media platforms. Kasi, they cannot ignore the fact that since they are known influencers, they can influence people. In fact, some of them, because of the large number of followers that they have, can monetize whatever engagements that they have, no, in the social media platforms. So dapat makisama sila, tumulong sila sa gobyerno na magkaroon tayo ng regulatory policy. And mind you, the regulatory framework or policy that we will be proposing as a result of this committee hearing, no, hindi to bago because other countries already have regulatory policy in the use, deployment, and employment of social media. So, anong kinakatakot nila? So, those na natatakot are probably guilty for peddling fake news. Do we want fake news to be peddled every single day in our social media platforms, di ba? To the disadvantage of the Filipino people, misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. These are the very reason why there was a need to come up with a policy.
Well, Kong, speaking of monetizing their content, I know this is one of the topics that the committee plans to tackle tomorrow, the tax compliance of content creators. But I mean, let's face it, content creators, they're self-employed. Marami po sa kanila, di ba? And most of their income streams, iba-iba. They have ad revenue, they have sponsorships, there are also brand deals. How do you propose to address this, no, in terms of legislation, the complexities of just reporting their income and having diverse sources of income?
Well, I'm sure if they have other sources of revenue, they're probably withheld or probably they're paying taxes. But what we want to discover and find out are those monetizations that they do in their social media platforms because the Meta, ByteDance, and what's the other one? The other platform can inform the
X.
committee as to how much money that they have given to these bloggers, and we will ask, oh, have you paid your taxes dito sa ano na ito, dito sa mga social media income that you make? They cannot just reason out that, I have diverse and several sources of revenue. Yes, we know that because some of them are professionals, as they claim to be. No, and we want to find out if you are professional. Then we don't want the income that you get from other sources. What we are interested in is dito ba sa social media engagements mo where you can monetize in YouTube, Facebook yata, nag-monetize siya, TikTok, di ba? Pwede bang sabihin mo sa amin, how much revenues do you make? Kasi some of them, in order to increase their engagements and therefore be able to monetize, they will create news or contents that are not verified, contents that are not real, contents that are not true. So do we allow this to happen? Does Facebook do they have a mechanism to control this? So that's what we want to find out.
But I guess that's why you're being accused of having an agenda, Congressman Barbers, because, I mean, what has tax compliance got to do with disinformation, right? Are you investigating disinformation and the spread of fake news, or are you investigating the monetization of these online influencers?
As I
and
said
you've gone
earlier,
so far as to invite the Anti-Money Laundering Council, the BIR tomorrow, and so on and so forth. So, there's a bit of a disconnect there for me because what are we exactly investigating here?
okay, I'll say it again, just like what I said earlier. Now, there are engagements which these vloggers can monetize, correct? Now, if these engagements that they do monetize are contents that are not real, that are not verified, that are not true, and yet gather a significant amount of views or likes or shares, then they can monetize them, right? Now, ang tanong, these engagements ba that they can or these contents that they create, no, that gathers what they call this certain number of views and likes, no, but was not verified. What do we do about that?
Well,
What do we do about that? The only way to look at it is maybe find out. Oh, teka, why are you making so much money? Are you paying your taxes? Anyone who makes income should pay taxes. Diba? I'm sure you guys, when you are paid by your network, taxes are withheld. Now sila, papayag ba tayo na hindi sila magbabayad ng buwis? Considering that they make, some of them even make hundreds and thousands of pesos in their income in the monetization. So that's part of the policy that we want to create. It's not just the peddling of fake news, diba? So don't get it wrong into believing that it's just about fake news. Of course, fake news is the most important part here. But more than that is the total policy we wish to implement, just like what other countries are doing.
So in short, you are also looking at potential legislation around tax compliance for online influencers and social media personalities.
Oh yes, definitely. Some of the online sellers probably make 5 million pesos a day, as one of the online blogger said in one of her posts, or one of her, what do you call that? Whatever you call that. She claimed to have made what 3 million pesos a day. Question: did you pay your taxes?
Congressman
Diba?
Barbers, a lot of critics no of this hearing because nga they feel na this is a curtailment of the right to free speech that everyone has. A lot of critics are saying meron namang cyber libel, and we have seen time and again no that cyber libel has been wielded against certain purveyors of fake news o yung mga mapanira news ng ibang tao. Hindi ba sapat yung cyber libel law natin?
Well, sapat 'yon, ano? Sapat 'yon. Pero sa paggamit isang area kung saan kumakalat ang fake news, no? Dapat bang meron tayong pulisiya diyan? Sa aking paniwala ay siguro dapat, because gaya nga ng binanggit ko kanina, the other countries are doing that. It's just that us probably we're the biggest user of social media in the whole of Asia and probably in the world. Di ba? Number one. Number two, siguro dapat tingnan din natin yung hindi lang yung purveyor sila ng fake news eh. I'm not saying everybody's a purveyor of fake news, but there are bloggers that actually are purveyors of fake news, those that incite people to withdraw their support from the government. Ito ba'y tama ba to? Di ba? Kapag ka nakakita ka ng vlogger na araw-araw na ginawa ng Diyos ay walang ginagawa kundi magmura, murahin si Juan de la Cruz, murahin si ganyan, di ba? Di ba? That's their right. Maaaring pinalaki sa mura yung taong yon. Pero gusto ba natin nakikita ng mga bata yan? We all know that we cannot even control kung sino yung nakakita o nakaka-access sa Facebook. My nephews, my nieces, my children can access news from the social media platforms. And that is why we want to regulate that. It's not just me. A lot of parents are complaining. And they wanted to ask, what can government do to stop this one purveyors of fake news? Everybody now, even probably all of you ladies, you're probably asking, if you read something in social media, you're probably asking, totoo ba ito? Ano ba totoo ngayon? Hindi na, naguguluhan na tayo kung ano yung totoo. There are disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation.
Right.
And do you want the influencers to earn from spreading fake news and misleading information to the people? Do we want them to earn money because of that?
Well, that responsibility and that question really lies with the social media platforms because they've become the gatekeepers, right? But Congressman, what we'll do is we'll
on the contrary, they said they can only do so much. That's what the platforms are saying.
I mean, because I disagree because they have full control of the algorithms. They arbitrate on things like if you're buying an ad, they can allow it. They don't allow it. It's the power is in their hands, so they are the arbiter here.
Yeah, I know. I absolutely agree with you. That's what I believe. That's what I believe too. No, and they can control. They can take down anything. But did you see what's happening now? Did they do something about that?
Yeah, that's also the debate in the US, unfortunately. But Kong, what?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
exactly what we want to happen. Di ba? Elevate this into a level of discourse that we should all agree that there must be some policy.
right.
Di ba? We're not curtailing, alam mo, kagaya niyan, those bloggers that did not attend, what did they do? They started talking about our invitation sa Tri-Comm and say that, we wanted to curtail the freedom of speech,
Unconstitutional daw.
abridging, no law will be passed, abridging the freedom of speech. Look, meron ba kaming ganun? Wala naman kaming ganun. Kaya nga nagtatanong tayo sa kanila, hey, come on, give us some idea on how to improve the use of social media. There must be a code of conduct. There must be code of ethics, just like you guys. Di ba?
Congressman?
Meron kayong code of conduct. And kagaya, let's say, kayong totoong journalist, are you allowed to do the same in the mainstream media? Before you come up with news, ang daming verification, di ba?
Yeah,
Because you're afraid that when you report a news that is not verified, baka mapahamak yung network o hindi kaya yung nag-report, di ba? So,
Congressman?
are we saying that the vloggers are special, not to be governed by a code of conduct or code of ethics? This is what we want to come up with.
Kong, I'm just
Diba?
curious. You mentioned several times no, that other countries are doing the same thing. So I was just wondering, no, before the first hearing and even before the second hearing tomorrow, which countries' models are you kind of studying para ma-adapt natin? May ganun ba?
Well, yeah, siguro titingnan natin ano yung mga best practices tungkol dyan, no? Just, I think, like Germany, no? Yung president ng Germany issued a very strong statement about the use of social media. Sinabi niya na we cannot we cannot allow social media to destroy democracy or our democracy. Coming up with that kind of a statement is something else, no? And yun ang gusto nating mangyari.
the
It's
problem.
not because we're siding with siding with a politician. No, this is
Right.
for the next generations. Now, if they want to side and express their opinion, uh, expressing their support to a certain candidate, that's fine. If they
Right.
want to criticize me, kunyari, no, or criticize anyone, that's fine. Okay lang yun. Pero make sure that you have a basis, di ba?
Right.
If that is
The
your opinion, that's fine. Di ba?
the
Okay
pro-
lang yun. Huwag
yeah.
ka lang mag-create o magpapakalat ng fake news because fake news peddling is different from expressing your opinion. Kaya nga meron tayong mga batas that if
Right.
you go overboard, you will be liable under our law.
Yeah, the
Diba?
problem the problem with the content regulation, Kong, is that there's a very fine line between that and censorship, right? And I don't think
Well,
any country in the world has figured it out just yet. Not even the United States, which is
yeah, but yeah,
extremely
but
polarized at the moment because of what's
that's
going on.
correct. Yeah, but there should be a distinct line or difference between issuing a statement expressing your opinion and expressing a defamatory statement. That is not rocket science. If it's defamatory, if it is issued with malice, that's something else. Kaya nga meron tayong mga batas dyan.
Kong, sorry, what we'll do is we'll keep monitoring the second hearing tomorrow. But before we let you go, just very quickly, I have to ask you this. We haven't spoken to you since the impeachment. I believe you signed the impeachment complaint as well. What are your thoughts on that, on how it's progressing? And of course, this is the context being you were once seen as a Duterte ally and was once seen as a close friend of the vice president. So, what are you thinking about all of this?
I don't think that matters, no? What is the issue at hand is different from where I was aligned with politically. I don't think it's not even logical to bring it up. But just to answer your query, we're waiting for the Senate, no, to start the proceedings because 241 member 215 plus 25 or 29 if I'm not mistaken has also signed, no, and signified their interest in finding out what is the real score in this issue of impeachment against the vice president.
It wasn't
So yeah, we're all waiting.
it wasn't difficult for you to sign. But
No, you know very well that I was investigating. I was the lead chair of the Quad Committee and a active participant of the Senate of the Committee on Good Government. And there are issues there that needs to be addressed. There were evidences, documentary and testimonial present that was used as basis for, in my opinion, in my signing of the impeachment.